22 years ago, I opened a book, stepped into a wardrobe, and found myself in a magical world. And that magical world changed the way that I perceive this one. I'm of course talking about C.S. Lewis's Narnia series. Welcome back to a series where I try my favorite authors' writing routines. G'day, my name's Tim. I'm a writer, I'm a reader, and I'm a creator. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. In this video, I'll be trying C.S. Lewis's writing routine. I've got the next 3 days off work, and so for the next 3 days, I'll be trying that writing routine. Who is C.S. Lewis? Clive Staples Lewis, born in 1898, was a famous Irish-born British writer, scholar, and professor. He taught English literature at both Oxford University and Cambridge University. He's most famously known for the Chronicles of Narnia series, his Christian writings, his academic books, and his time in the Oxford group of writers, the Inklings, which included his close friend, J.R.R. Tolkien. Tolkien and Lewis famously bonded over their time in the war, mythology, writing, and old stories. C.S. Lewis's family and friends referred to him as Jack, and he passed away in 1963. C.S. Lewis gave a detailed outline of his writing routine in his memoir, Surprised by Joy. And it goes a little like this. At 8 a.m., he is having his breakfast precisely on time. At 9 a.m., he is sitting at his desk and starting writing session number 1. At 11 o'clock, he is having a 15-minute coffee or tea break. And then at 11:15, he is starting writing session number 2. He will write until 1 o'clock and then it's lunchtime. And then at 2 p.m. he goes for a 2-hour solitary walk through the countryside. And then at 4:15 p.m. it is a snack and some reading. And then his final writing session of the day is between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. And post 7 p.m. he is going to the pub, chatting with friends, maybe some light reading. And then at 11 p.m. he's going to bed, no later. I tried Haruki Murakami's 4 a.m. writing routine in the winter, and C.S. Lewis's writing routine seems a little more manageable. So without further ado, let's jump into C.S. Lewis's writing routine and see if it works for me. G'day, it's day 1 of trialing C.S. Lewis's writing routine. I've got a coffee set up, I've got my computer set up. It is just about 9 a.m. and I'm sitting here at my kitchen table because the sun streaks through and it is glorious coming through the tinted windows. As you can see, I'm working on my manuscript and I'm about halfway through working through the 3rd draft, and I am rewriting the back end of this novel because it just doesn't really work. But I am on chapter 30 and it is a crucial chapter to put words towards and to pivot my story. And so with those structural edits comes a big shift in the story and what the end of the story means. And I need to readdress all of that in order to take it forward in a chronological order, but a story that ends up making sense. I have it in here. I know what I want it to sound like. I know what I want it to feel like. But now it's up to actually putting it on a page. I'm really looking forward to C.S. Lewis's writing routine because there are large chunks of dedicated writing time throughout the course of the next 3 days. I'm really looking to make a dent on the second half of the edit of this novel. So, wish me luck. Anyway, this is writing session number 1 and number 2. C.S. Lewis in Surprised by Joy says, "Walking and talking are 2 of the very great pleasures, but it is a mistake to combine them. Our own noise blots out the sounds and the silences of the outdoor world, and talking leads almost inevitably to smoking, and then farewell to nature, as far as one of our senses is concerned." And so whilst I walked, I took in C.S. Lewis's advice, noticing the details, taking in the sounds, and I just enjoyed myself. What a gorgeous day. I feel really lucky right now, man. I have just got back from my walk through the park and along the ocean, and I'm sitting down for my 3rd session of writing for the day. I am still stuck on chapter 30, and I know that I've been working on chapter 30 all day, but it is a crucial crux point of this novel because it is exactly halfway through my novel. And without giving away too much to you guys, this is the crux of the novel. This chapter informs the next steps and how this novel plays out going forward. And I know that I will need to rewrite large sections of the second half of this novel, but I just don't quite know what direction it is going in yet. Anyway, I'm going to get to it, and hopefully I can get through chapter 30 by the end of this 2-hour writing session here. G'day, good morning. This is day 2 of trying C.S. Lewis's writing routine. I'm about to sit down and start my first writing session of the day. It's almost 9 a.m. here, but I am carrying some nervous energy as I await a phone call from my surgeon, who is in charge of making the decision of whether we do something about my ongoing shoulder injury or not. So I'm a little jittery, I'm a little scattered, and this will make an interesting first writing session of the day. So yeah, hold on to some good wishes for me there, because this has been a long time coming. Anyway, I am working on chapter 30 of this draft here still. I'm re-tinkering, and I think I've almost got it. So I'm planning to get that done on this first session, and then I'm going to catapult forward and take in that momentum. Writing is such a pure form of expression, and doing these challenges reminds me of how lucky I am. I have the privilege and the ability to write. So, without further ado, let's get stuck into this session. Righto, it's writing session number 2. I have come to one of my favorite cafes in the city here next to the Royal British Columbia Museum, and they have these lovely chairs and tables outside under trees. So that is where I currently am, and it is just past 11 o'clock and it's my coffee break. So I got a coffee and I'm going to settle in for writing session number 2 here. I got to the end of chapter 30 here and I've just deleted 7 pages of writing. I'm not entirely sure I'm happy with it, but it is definitely getting there, and I'm moving on to chapter 31. Sitting under this glorious tree definitely has a C.S. Lewis, J.R.R. Tolkien vibe to it, and I could certainly get used to this writing routine. Anyway, writing session number 2 incoming. G'day folks, I've just got back from my afternoon walk for this C.S. Lewis writing challenge on day 2, and I'm about to begin writing session number 3, somewhere over in that direction, and I'm ticking along. I'm really enjoying the walks, I'm enjoying the solo time, I'm enjoying the thought processing time, and I feel like this novel is brewing in my head in a way that it hasn't in the last few weeks. And I see why C.S. Lewis loves these writing days. They are dreamy, they're broken up just enough throughout the course of the day to give you those breaks and those resets, but it doesn't feel overwhelmingly taxing. But I would argue that it probably isn't sustainable if you were trying to live an ordinary life outside of that. And I know that he is also situated that this is his ideal writing day and was often not what his writing days entailed. But in the summertime, when the sun is shining and you get to type away, it feels incredibly dreamy. So let's hope for another day of sunshine tomorrow, shall we? It is officially day 3 of the C.S. Lewis Writing Challenge, and I'm enjoying the pacing of this challenge. One of my biggest struggles in this challenge so far is I feel like I can't quite work long enough in those work blocks. As in, I feel like I can work solidly for an hour 15, and I feel like I need a break, but that work block still has another 45 minutes to an hour remaining. Which leads me to mentioning something that I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video. In C.S Lewis writing blocks, he also does some reading. So he breaks up his writing with some reading, and I figured for this challenge here, I would play out C.S Lewis's on writing. And while there are some nice little pieces of information and knowledge in there, it leads me on to a bigger discussion about Lewis's work. Just how I sit personally, that I don't agree with everything C.S. Lewis has ever said. I don't necessarily agree with his ideologies and his faith and his political ideologies. There is obviously criticism of the Chronicles of Narnia and his work, and you can read that on your own at different points in time. But I, in this case, am just captured as the 10-year-old version of me that stepped into that wardrobe and that magical world and what I felt then during that time. Which is all to say that I enjoy trying new writers' routines and plucking out the little bits of knowledge and wisdom from them spending decades on the craft of writing. I'm still working on my novel this morning, but make sure you stick around till the end because I got 3 takeaways that I would like to share with you at the end of this challenge. And that is my final writing session of the C.S. Lewis Writing Challenge complete. Before I go, I would like to share my 3 takeaways from participating in this challenge. My first takeaway from this challenge was pacing. Pacing throughout the course of the day, stopping before you empty the well in order to take a break to refill the well felt like a really intelligent way to go about the writing. I think often over the years I've burnt the candle down to the very bottom, and as an artist I find it unsustainable because I turn up the following day and don't have the energy to create and be creative and to put words on a page. And what I really liked about C.S. Lewis's writing challenge, or more so what it taught me, was that pacing was okay, and it was okay to take those breaks earlier rather than later in order to regenerate and to have something left over in the tank. The second takeaway is movement of any kind, particularly forward movement, is incredible for the creative brain, and that was just reinforced throughout this challenge, particularly doing the 2-hour walks solitary in nature. And the final takeaway, which relates to the first takeaway in many ways, is slowing down. C.S. Lewis in this writing routine almost feels like he is somewhat gentle on himself. He is trying to craft the perfect day for himself of the things that he loves to do and the way that he likes to spend his days. And what I found doing Lewis's writing routine is that it naturally forced my brain to slow down. I wasn't running at 100 beats a minute. I was just being and spending the time, and it wasn't about production as much as it was the process. And that is something I really like. I've learned a tremendous amount over the last 3 days trialing out C.S. Lewis's writing routine, and none more important than the best writing routine is the one that you can stick to. And while I love trying writers' writing routines and love immersing myself in their world and learning from them, I always come back to this one thought. Regardless of the routine, I always feel so fortunate to be able to write. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. If there's any reading or writing challenges that you would like me to try, let me know below in the comments because I'm always looking for new ones to try out. And if you're interested in watching the video I made trialing Haruki Murakami's 4 AM writing routine, you can check that out here. In the meantime, I think I deserve a beer. So yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.